Just the example I said about the wedding reception in Imore here years ago. The first person ran out of that hall, every other person followed because we thought there's a problem somewhere, only to get out and nobody knew what the issue was. You see, and that's how a lot of people lead their lives. They just following other people. They think those people know, but they don't know. But because they look like they know, everybody follows them. And I've seen that in my life. A lot of people I used to think knew the way. A lot of people I thought were there, I've just come to know they're not. I mean, when the rubber hit the road, the truth came to fore, right? The truth came to fore, right? So you need to reason. God gave us a mind to reason and process data. Let's not give that to someone else. You gotta think. It's not difficult to think. People just think it's difficult, so they run away from it. And that's why their life is no better. Everything about your growth in life, your elevation, your success, all that will make you tick this year will come from your ability to think. Your ability to think. If you cannot think, you will not make it in life, right? And one of the things we process also as we get data, is people, A lot of people, you wouldn't know people just by looking at them, right? So, one of the things I've stayed with me that Maya Angelou says is that when someone shows you who they are, they're called or believe it the first time. I'm 55 years old, and in 55 years, I've gotten to see a lot of fake people. A lot of people that behave they are one thing, but they're not, because they failed the test when the rubber hits the road. I've been in depression 2 times, 2 years. Those were times to see people in their true color, right? People I thought who could do things, you know your friends when you're down, and I've had a privilege, and they're all fake people, So one of the things you pick up in the environment is, who is for you, who is not for you, who you can depend on, who you can rely on. You need to start marking that down, because when the rubber hits the road, you don't get surprised, at people's behavior, or you put your eggs in the wrong basket. That's important. You need to pick the signs, right? You need to pick the signs. It's not about what people say, it's what they do. You can rely more on what people say, what people do than what they say. They can say they are your best friend. But when the fruit of that best friendship is called for, do they give it? Do they perform? That's important. Because if they don't perform, then they're not your best friends. They're not. They can say whatever they want to say. They can profess whatever they want to profess. It's when the rubber hits the road, are they there for you? That is what it means. So you need to know your team, so that when the trouble comes, you know what to call on. You don't go call on your enemy when you have trouble. And Bethany continues and says that not only do you have to learn to think 5 steps ahead, you have to be willing to act on what you see, right? It's not to think, it's not to see, right? It's not to have a plan. You also have to take action on what you see, right? Like I said, this January, we already put 1,500 yam seedlings in the ground. The next thing we want to do right now is put plantain suckers in the ground also. We're only limited because our farm workers are not here yet, but we're gonna, one way or the other, we're not gonna lose that. We're gonna get it done, right? We're gonna get another 1,500 yam yam in the ground, and we're gonna get suckers also, right? Because, like I say, it's massive action for us this year. Massive action. We need to get a good chunk of what we've lost so far back, and we'll get it done. We'll get it done. So again, it's not just a plan. You have to act. You have to make, when you decide, you do. Decide, you do, right? And we'll see here Napoleon Hill talking about 2 people that are popular. Talks about Henry Ford. Henry Ford took action on the plan he had. That's what made the difference for him. He was not just thinking about the wagon with that horse. He put it into action, and he came up with the automobile, right? Thomas Edison did not just have the bulb in his head. He went to work at it. That's how we got the bulb, right? So it's not enough to think about it. You have to try it. You have to take action and you learn. Like we saw Thomas Edison. He made a mistake. He did have to do 1,000 experiments, trying this, trying that, until he got it. So you need to have grit, right? Not be one that easily gives up. You have to stay with the job until it's done, right? And we go on to the last slide here for this section here. And Bethany says, I am always tuned in to the culture. That's important, right? If you're in a business, you need to know what is changing in the culture, because don't forget, that's your custom. Those are your customers, right? For instance, as we go into renewable energy, we see that there's more focus on a life without fossils, even though that's a long time coming. But I'm in the oil and gas industry. So what do our companies do? We're getting heavily invested in in renewable energy. So whatever it is, we're going to gain. We're not eating our head on the wall saying nobody must move away from fossil. We know the world is going to need fossil for a foreseeable future. In our lifetime, we'll still be using it, right? But there will always be that agitation move towards renewable energy. So what we've done is we're heavily invested. We do have the funds, and we're heavily invested in the renewables while we're not leading the core of our business, because that's what's going to feed the next gen, right? Same thing we need to apply in our own individual lives, right? There's a culture towards farming. There's money there. That's why we're in there. That's why we're heavily invested in our Greek. For an individual, we're heavily invested in it, and we'll put more in. And what we're doing is nothing compared to what others are doing. My friend was chatting last night, was talking about our poultry is 30,000 capacity. Talks about the poultry that it went to is 120,000. 120,000 bed capacity. So it's 4 times what we're doing. So what I call big is small. It's small, right? But we'll get there. But we need to start from what we're able to carry. And hopefully we'll grow one day to it, right? So you have to see what's going on. I talking to someone else, also talking about someone that have hectares. I think it was like 900 hectares of palm kernel. And we're just thinking about doing some acres of it, So you've been tuned into it. You see there's business. You see where the money is, and you follow the money. Business is all about following the money, but you must know where the money is going for you to follow it, right? I wanted to see beyond the moment we're in while still living in the present. Don't be stuck where you are. Don't be stuck where you used to be, right? You have a future thinking, because you're going to go get to the future. And the only way you can harness the future optimally is to be there before you get there, right? Meaning that you design the future you want, right? You design the future you want so that it will be to you the way you want it, right? And lastly, Democritus talks about what is popular. We just stay with Democritus, and it says, everywhere man blames nature and fate. It's easy to blame fate. Oh, it's because I was born here. It's because I didn't have this, Yet his fate is mostly but the echo of his character and passions, his mistakes and weaknesses. It's all in the hands. Our destiny is in our own hands. It's not in nature. It's not in fate. It's in our own hands. It's in the decisions we make daily. It's in our ability to process, to be aware of and process the data that is all around us and in us. That is what gives us success. To succeed, I must know me. To succeed, I must be aware of my environment. To succeed, I must then harness what is in me and what is outside of me to the intent and purpose and direction of my destiny, my goal, right? That's the way to succeed, So